So now we're going to take a look at the photostimulable phosphor plates, which are an indirect digital radiograph. And these are a wireless digital radiograph. So when we compare those to our conventional film, these are not digital, so these would have to be chemically processed. So these would be processed through the computer system. They have a phosphor-coated plate, which are flexible and they fit into the mouth in a similar way that your conventional film was used. The phosphor covers the X-ray energy into a visible light. They are reusable images plates that are coated with that phosphor. So this is instead of using a sensor. So even though it doesn't have a cord, it is still a digital image. So an electronic or a latent image is created on the phosphor coated plate, and this is a high-speed scanner then converts that information into an electronic file. And so if we go over here, you'll see this is the ScanX machine, and the ScanX machine then processes the image and generates it onto the computer for us. So as we come back, you'll see here I have a size 2, size 1, size 0, and size 4 out just to show the difference in some of the sizes. It does come in other sizes as well. But from a quality assurance process, we also want to make sure that the integrity of the phosphor plates are being kept to the maximum ability. So if we take a really close look here, we can see that the phosphor plate over time, there it goes, it does wear out, it starts to scratch, it even starts to peel back the phosphor plate and the coating on the edge. So it's hard to see, they're very thin, but the integrity of this image, if you were to process, and you can even see there's a bit of a bend in that phosphor plate. So either a client has bitten down, either the clinician has bent it on accident, or something has happened so the integrity has lost its straight, flat surface here. So these need to be replaced. If it's starting to look like this, it is the clinician's responsibility to then replace it with a new phosphor plate. So it's very important to know the integrity is good because it's also going to impact the quality of the image that you're trying to take and exposing of the client. So we also have little carrier packets here. So you can see here this carrier packet has little tiny spots for those images to be placed so that light does not expose the phosphor plate over time. What can happen is the radiograph could be exposed and left with the phosphor plate facing up. What happens is the light will expose this and continuously start to darken that image. So what we need to do when we process is we need to make sure that they are kept face down. And as you can see here, it even tells you opposite side towards the tube head. So that means that that phosphor plate side, this blue side here, is going to be the side that's being exposed by the radiation or the tube head. So when it goes into its disposable packets, which I will show you in a moment, those are going to help us keep everything sterile from patient to patient or client to client. And so here's also another transfer box. So after you've taken your image and you follow the proper IPAC or personal protective equipment and disinfection, you can then use that transfer box to bring it over to the ScanX to be processed. Okay, so one big thing that we need to be aware of with our phosphor plates is that although they are reusable, they can be erased after each exposure. So when we erase them, this little bright light exposes them in a single step by laser scanning the device. And they should only truly be used up to 50 times because we start to lose the integrity of the image that can be cast on it. And we're always looking at a grayscale. And so with that grayscale, it can become damaged over time. So these are not a forever product. Again, we have to keep in mind of how much we're using them, how much we're processing them, and how much light is being exposed. The integrity, again, making sure that we're keeping everything as perfect as possible, and I'll zoom in there. Again, if this is what we're looking at in our private practice, we want to make sure, there we go. We want to make sure that we are then taking this one out of cycle and replacing it with a new and fully perfect one. And so they do come in little packets. Okay, so this is a brand new packet ready to go. Okay, so if I were to open this one up, we would see that those have no dents, damages, bends, and they're perfectly intact.